Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Happy Saturday, happy weekend to everyone. We've got Mr. Peabody in here, Grandmaster Yoda is in here, Tina is here as well, Soul Assassin Mad Mitch, Peter Sharon, or is it Sharon? Sharon. I've never quite understood it completely. Blake Hemlow is here, Mary Jeremy is here as well, Frank the Tank and the Shaheen Weeder Dog clan are here as well. Jeremy Swiggs entered the Odin. What's going on, Jeremy Swiggs? Teresa Martin's here. What's going on, Teresa? How's it going? Bruce says Odin. What's going on, Bruce? JKD Buck 76 is here. Darkness is here as well. Mad Mitch, Truculent Trout, amazing. Bob tomorrow's early mass, so I'm not going to be able to stay on for the stream. No problem at all, Truculent Trouts. I understand. I'll be going to, I think, 9:30 mass tomorrow. Mayor Jeremy says, hello, bruv. What's going on, bruv? How's it going, bruv? Glad to see you here. Glad to see you are here. Soul Assassin, what's going on, man? Darth Moral says, good evening to you, Darth Moral. Nickel says, hello, Odin, hello, chat, hello to see you as well. Sean's Reviews is here. JJ, my boy JJ is here as well. What's going on, bruv? JKD Book, I see you. Mark Krell, Stray Dog is here. Aiden Vickery is here as well. Grandmaster says, good to see you back in streams. You sound much better too. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I feel much better. Still not 100%. I'm still dealing with some phlegm issues, but overall, much better than I was beforehand. Great to be back on the streams. Last night's stream, if you didn't watch over on Nerdrotic's channel, was a freaking blast. I think it's still live on his channel, so go check it out if you missed it. We talked about a lot of really cool things. Ended up going for over 2.5 hours, and it was a blast. It was a ball, and I can't wait to have that be a part of my schedule. And so for those that weren't listening to last night's stream, every Friday we're going to be doing a stream at 8 p.m. Eastern time over on Gary's channel. It's going to be Friday Night Tights, except now we're going to have, I'm going to be on there as a regular person. I think we're going to try and get a couple other people on as regulars and then have some guest rotating spots too. And basically have like a new council, as one could say. It's not going to be like a high council alternative or anything like that. It's just going to be a new council, right? A new group of people to come together weekly and to try and be a little bit more consistent with it, because the people running the high council obviously are very busy doing a lot of other things. You know, Jeremy had to stop doing the high council because he's doing so much stuff behind the scenes. Y'all have no idea, for Geeks and Gamers. And of course, he is a family man too, so he's got a lot to do there as well. And so he wasn't able to keep up with it. And then this past week, they didn't say anything after it was canceled. And I know that a lot of it has to do with people being busy and such. So yeah, it's very exciting though, because I love streaming. I love talking with you guys. And yeah, Teresa Martin says, going well. I'm glad to hear it, Teresa Martin. Hope you are doing just fine. Tebias Toback says, so hyped for the Joker. I am too, man. And as you can see, that's part of the title for tonight's stream, is indeed the fact that we're getting early reviews for the Joker, and they are positive. They are almost all completely positive. And there's definitely some thoughts about whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, because what the critics are saying essentially seems to indicate that this is going to be more of a low-budget feel, more of an indie-type feel film that happens to also be a story about the Joker. Some people aren't excited for that. Some people are saying, I'm kind of over that. I'd rather just have a comic book movie. But I'm more of the ilk where if a movie's done well, I don't mind a more realistic approach. I don't mind a more real world take on it. And as I've said before, I'm most excited because I think that you're going to see an amazing performance from Joaquin Phoenix, and apparently everyone's walking away from it saying this dude already deserves an Oscar nomination. And for them to say that about a movie featuring a character from the comics, doesn't matter how that character's being portrayed as far as, is it a comic book portrayal or is it a real life portrayal? To me, the fact that that's even a discussion, that someone now, again, for the Joker, 2008, Heath Ledger, that was the last time that the Joker was really seen as being a character and the portrayal of a character as being award worthy, because then of course you had the really awful one in Suicide Squad, which no one in their right mind would say was Oscar worthy by any means, by Jared Leto. And Jared Leto is a talented actor, but the fact that the big reaction, the big takeaway that a lot of people have for the Joker coming out is that Joaquin Phoenix deserves a lot of praise, that has me excited. That's like the big thing that I was not worried about, but that was like the big thing that I was focused on. I was most focused on, is the Joker's performance going to be good? I think that has a lot of potential to be. And the fact that you already have people coming out, fans and critics alike, coming out saying it's amazing, I now have a lot more confidence and I'm even more hyped for the film. There's definitely some people that are going to try and say it seems like there might be some political stuff in the movie. But to be honest, the fact that there are people coming out basically like criticizing it for being quote unquote pro incel, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. The fact that they are coming out and criticizing the film makes me realize, okay, this is not going to be a crazy political film, right? It's not going to be filled with identity politics. It's not going to be filled with the typical SJW-isms. It's just going to be a good movie. And the fact that you have people arguing the same point from different sides makes me more excited for it, because it means that it's not clear. You know, some people say, oh, it's a pro-incel film or it's an anti-incel film, but it's like, no, just stop. I mean, the critics are going to be critics, right? The critics are going to show themselves to be idiots no matter what, no matter how good or bad the film is. But the fact that there's people now, critics, coming out saying two totally different things about the same subject matter makes me realize, okay, it's probably a good film then, because it probably doesn't take a side on it. They're just trying to drudge up whatever political nonsense and political narratives they can, because that's just what critics do now, and it's really sad. We got some D-Laugh fam here tonight. Captain Peabody, what's going on, bruv? K-Man is here also. Jade Roar, what's going on? Cat Food Millionaire, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Captain Roy is... I'm assuming that's from today. I don't have a time on that one, but K-Man's here as well. Captain Peabody says, time to teach the Aussie. What does it mean when they say indie film? So indie film just means independent. Independent normally means lower budget film. Also, unfortunately, they tend to be the most unique. They tend to be the most original films also. And that's why I tend to like them more so than not, because we just don't have a lot of original stories being told in Hollywood these days. So the basic premise of independent, though, is that it's not being run by a major studio, right? Sometimes you'll see major studios attached to it, but normally what happens is that a small group makes a film, and then a major studio will pick it up to distribute the film. So, for example, you might see a film that says Fox Searchlight, and normally that's what you see. There are, for bigger companies, they have independent branches. So normally Fox Searchlight, that's what normally is attached to independent films that Fox used to pick up. And it sometimes was the case where Fox Searchlight had nothing to do with the making of the movie, but they picked up the rights to it because the people who produced the film didn't have enough money to put it into theaters, but of course Fox did. And so they allocated funds to groups like Fox Searchlight to be able to do that. And so that's what I mean by independent, are normally lower budget, but obviously not always. There are definitely films that can have that independent feel to them, even with a little bit more of a budget. But it mostly means that it was done by independent producers and not these major producers in Hollywood. So no problem at all, Peabody. I always love explaining these types of things, because obviously not everyone's going to know the different terminologies and stuff. Grandmaster Yoda says, good to see you back. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Jeremy Swig says, glad you're better. We had beard withdrawal. Telling you, I had stream withdrawal. That's why last night was so much fun. It was great to be on with a bunch of people that I recognize, especially. Sean Review says, what is your opinion on the Rocky movies? I think they're fun. I like the Rocky movies a lot. I think that Rocky 1 is great. I love Rocky 4. And I think that Rocky Balboa is the best made film out of the bunch. Doesn't mean it's my favorite. It doesn't mean I think that it's what most people would say is the best. I just mean, breaking down pure objectivity, it is the best shot. I think it's the best written. And I think it's the best acted too. Rocky Balboa. It's a really good film. It's a solid film. It's not just a solid Rocky movie. It's just a solid film. And because it's a solid film and not necessarily similar to a Rocky or Rocky 4, that might be why some people don't like it as much, but I do. I think it's pretty great. Alistair Carly says, howdy, Odin. How are you, good sir? I figured I sneak streaming on the new phone, just not able to chat, watching Fast and Furious Marathon with the wife, and yes, I like them all. You like them all? Okay. Well, I don't like 2. I like 1. I love 3. 4 is fine. 5 is the best, no question about it. 6 is good. And then 7 and 8 are just trash to me. So, but my favorite is 3. And it's because I think that the stunt work that was needed for those car scenes with the drifting is just incredible. Like, even though the film and the acting around the film might not be the best, it's just it's amazing stunt work. And I'm always amazed and love movies with really good stunt work in them. And so that's why I really appreciate that film. Also, it introduced one of the best characters ever in the name of Han. Like, the point where they changed the entire timeline. They literally made Fast and Furious 3 take place in the future so that they could keep the character around. It's truly amazing. Captain Mr. Roy, thank you very much for the diamond donation over on D-Lav. Says, nice to see you on Nerdrotic last night. It was nice to be on Nerdrotic last night. It was so much fun. It really was. It was so much damn fun. It was great, and I had a good time. So I can't wait for next week, because I think that it's going to be a crap ton of fun, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like having fun, as I'm sure all of you also like having fun. Let's see. Tina, thank you for letting everyone know how to contact me. Again, if you want to contact me now that we got a bunch more people in the chat, just put Odin question, all one word, Odin question, and it'll pop up orange on my screen, and then that way I'll know you're trying to get my attention. It just makes things easier for me, and also it helps me know if who's talking to me and who's just talking to someone else in the chat. Because I know that y'all like to talk to each other, and that's why I love these streams, because you talk to me, but you also talk to each other. And it's a lot of fun. John Winkler says, hey, Odin, does Cats look more appealing now? Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been on the defense of Cats for a while now. I think it looks creepy as hell. But you know what? I think that means that it's going to be a movie I can laugh at and have a lot of fun with because of its weird creepiness vibe to it. I don't really want to support it because I don't really want to support a film right now with what's her name in it, the country artist that's no longer a country artist, Taylor Swift, who's said some really stupid things at the VMAs the other day. Like, seriously, these Hollywood types, these rich people, they live in the clouds, they live on their ivory towers, and they love to say, "Oh my gosh, but you don't understand. These are movements that you need to support." But in reality, they just have no idea what they're even talking about because they've been famous for so long. They forget what it's like to be a regular person. Darth Morrill says, wow, Joker reviews are fantastic. They are very, very good right now. And it has me very excited for it. And it's not because critics are loving it. It's because of what the critics are saying. And there's been some people that have been saying, I don't like it because if the critics like it, it must be bad. And it's like, no. We can't have that mindset because there's some movies that we love that critics love. Dark Knight, for example. Critics love that movie. It is a good movie, right? People love it. It's what the critics say about a movie that's the most important. Like, for example, when they prop up films like Captain Marvel and they try and say, even though they give it a very, harsh review, and yet at the end of the day, they give it a positive rating, that's when you say, okay, hold on. I call BS here because you just gave it a critical rating, rightly so, but then you still went ahead and gave it a fresh rating because you know how it works. You can give a film a 50% in your rating scale and still choose it to be, on Rotten Tomatoes at the very least positive. And that's all that you care about, right? Is just, helping the films that you want to help, making the films that you like look a little bit better, which is not really the purpose of what critics are supposed to do, right? And so you look at what they say, and what they're saying right now about Joker overwhelmingly is mostly about Joaquin Phoenix and about how amazing his role is. A few have been talking about the incel thing, but then when you dive into that, there are people saying two different things, and that tells me, okay, so the movie's not clear on that, right? The movie's not really clear. So anyone that's going to try and make the film into like a political, there's some who said, oh, there's some themes from 2019 in there. It's like, just shut up. Like, you read that, and if every single critic was saying it, if every single critic was saying, oh my gosh, it's a movie for 2019 and it's a movie for Trump's America, blah, blah, blah. If they were all saying that, I would be like, okay, this film's probably going to be problematic. But they're not. Most aren't even saying it. Most aren't even mentioning anything about politics, which is great. That's what it should be. That's what critics should be doing. But it also likely means the film is indeed going to be just a solid film with a great performance from Joaquin Phoenix. And as I said, that's the most important thing to me, is Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the Joker, of the character being awesome. And I'm excited for it. I am. And I know a lot of people, I read the comments on the video I did about the last Joker trailer, and there were some that were just not hyped and just said, man, it looks okay to me. And hey, that is your right. Just like you have a right to like The Last Jedi, you have a right to like Captain Marvel, you have a right to do a lot of things. Doesn't necessarily mean that objectively you're right, but that's a whole other point, right? But at the end of the day, it all comes down to your subjective view, right? And I honestly think again, could be wrong here, but based on what we've seen so far, objectively, it does look like it's going to be pretty good. So I hope that it remains true. Bruce says, got your email reply. I will send them off to you for a giveaway. Awesome, Bruce. I don't know if I'll be doing a giveaway tonight, but if I do, Bruce has provided a few extra codes. I still have other codes that I haven't given away yet, but he's given me a code for Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I believe he's now sending me also a couple other Godzilla digital codes also. So those will be a part of good giveaways as well. Tina says, did you say phlegm? I did. Too much information, says Tina. Well, you know what? You come here for the truth, don't you? So I'm not going to spitball on what's going on with me right now. Niggle Noodle says, the oak pollen was really bad in Tennessee this year. I couldn't breathe for about 5 weeks. Damn, Niggle Noodles. Yeah, so I know that in the spring, I'm going to need to hoard up on all of my allergy medication. This was definitely not allergies, though. I mean, the things that were going on with me before the phlegm that I'm dealing with now was well beyond just regular allergies. So I knew that wasn't it. I probably had like some small case of flu, cold, or I think it was more of a cold than the flu. But apparently already in Nashville, there was a student that has been confirmed to have had a case of the flu. So flu starting early this year, it looks like. But yeah, allergies suck. And that's why I'm glad it only really affects me 2 weeks out of the year. Matt Mitch says, it sounds great. Yeah, it does. Frank in the Clan says, please ask Odin question. Thank you very much, Frank, for letting them know how it's done. Yeah, again, just Odin question, all one word. It pops up for me over on YouTube. If you're on DLive, just put @Odin at the beginning of your comments, and I'll know, because it's a lot calmer over on DLive, so it's not as hard for me to be able to decipher who's talking to me and who's not. Captain Peabody says, I thought the trailer for Cats looked all right. Then I saw Rebel Wilson, and they lost me. You mean that didn't make you laugh because of how ridiculous it was? Tom19 says, Joker got an 8-minute standing ovation. That's right. So for those that weren't following the news, apparently in that first showing at the film festival, they had an 8-minute standing ovation, which, again, it's mostly critics. It's mostly the hoity-toity. It's mostly the highfalutin people, which means that it probably is going to be a pretty solid indie film or indie-feeling film. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad film, right? That doesn't mean that it's going to be a political film. And so I think that the reason why it's getting a standing ovation is because of the amazing performance of Joaquin Phoenix. And apparently the film itself is just as great. And that has me excited. We deserve good films. Whether it's a comic book story or not, we deserve good films. And I think that having a good film that also happens to be about a comic book character that's going to take it in a different way is a good thing, is an important thing. Because that's how more people get invested. Because then you'll have people saying, oh, God, this was such a unique portrayal. Now I kind of want to find out more about the character and see where everything else had. You know? Smoothie out of California says, welcome back, Odin. We all missed you, especially me. I need my daily movie blog fix. Also, praise Alita. Damn right. Always will praise Alita, Smoothie Jam, California. And let's be honest about those, because some people have been asking me why haven't I done a video on the Blu-ray sales yet? It's because I'm still waiting to see those numbers come in. We actually saw that there was a very small drop from week 1 to week 2 in comparison to a lot of others. So that's a pretty good sign that it didn't have that typical drop-off that many films had. It's also not selling as many copies. And so that confirms a few things for us. One, it confirms that, yeah, we were seeing things correctly. They were selling out in stores. But what that also means is that the stores did not get enough copies of the movie to keep up with the demand. So that's all that tells me right now, because some people are saying, oh, look, Captain Marvel's already won. Okay, yeah, well, Captain Marvel has a plethora of copies still collecting dust because Disney oversells. Disney overprovides of stuff, especially for movies that many people just don't even want to buy. All those copies of Captain Marvel just sitting around very clearly aren't being bought and are not wanting to be bought. Alita, on the other hand, is hard to find. So I'm hoping that because the desire and the demand is very high, that of course will lead to more and more sales happening. But Captain Marvel benefits from Disney having so many copies that anyone walking in is going to be like, oh my goodness, what's this? Aiden Vickery says, don't be modest, it's the classy council. If by classy you mean we'll let you know if we're not going to have one, then we're classy. Shots fired, shots fired. I think movies like Joker and The Kitchen, 70s style grunge, are a rejection of CGI fest movies, and I like these new movies. I'm right there with you. I think that for me, I still have no desire to see The Kitchen, just based on the premise, because there was a movie with a very similar premise that came out earlier this year, and I just have no desire to see it. Oh, the women have got to take over. I'm tired of that story. That's so 2019, and I'm tired of it getting involved in in so many movies, so many TV shows. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. The women can do stuff. Yeah. I'm not denying that. I don't know who you think is, but apparently they have to compensate for people that they claim to exist in droves that think women can't do things. But it's also like, okay, you're pushing it a little bit too much. But I agree with the overall premise, Cynical. I think that we do need more movies like those as far as being non-CGI centric films, being more grounded, more down to earth, more based in reality films. For every Avengers film, we need to have a Joker, right? We need to have movies that are going to be more grounded in reality. And I think that and hope that the Joker will be able to fit that bill. Darth Morrill says, Joker looks fantastic. SJWs are attacking it, claiming it promotes toxic masculinity. That's what I'm talking about. Because there's some people that are trying to say, hey, it's criticizing the... And again, they're using that phrase. And it's in so... Like, seriously, look at some of the critiques. almost all of them are using incel. And anytime that someone in a critic circle uses that word, I know that it's being used in a derogatory way. Because for those that don't know, the incel community is a group of people. It's an actual belief, right? It's an actual system where people choose not to enter into relationships. And it has a lot to do with the fact that we live in a digital age where people don't have as many person-to-person interactions. And sometimes it's people that have various issues that keep them from interacting. You know, I know there's people who have shared their stories here on this channel about how they struggle with anxiety. They struggle with these various things. And you have this community that's specifically not just dealing with anxiety, but also apparently choosing not to enter into relationships. And yet they're mocked. And for me, I'm thinking to myself, why should anyone be mocked for choosing that for their life? I mean, I don't see what's wrong with someone choosing that for their life. But yet these crazy SJW types, they use as an insult. And then on top of that, they call other people incels that aren't. And again, they try and use it as an insult. I guess that you could say that they use it as readily as we use SJW. The difference is that SJW actually is an accurate portrayal and an accurate description of the people that we talk about, where incel being used on this side, on by the SJW side, is not anywhere near close, because they use it just for the sake. It's like racist, right? Everyone's a racist. Everyone's a sexist. Well, no. These terms mean something, and it's important for us to know what these terms mean. A social justice warrior is very clear with how we're defining people, you know? And it's amazing to me that that's what's going on. So yeah, some people are criticizing Joker because they say it promotes toxic masculinity, it promotes the incel culture. Okay, that's your critique? Shut up. If that's your critique of the movie, that it supports the incel culture, then get out of your profession, because you are not a movie critic. At that time, you know, if you say that in your movie review, you are no longer a movie critic. You are now a cultural attaché. If you don't know what that means, go watch Birdcage, which is a great film, but that's the only term I can really think about. It's like you're no longer just critiquing it. You're, I'm a purveyor of the culture, and I'm going to do this and that. It's like, no, just stop, please. Mirror Jeremy says, I'm watching the Son of Batman animated movie from 2014. Heard good things. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot of really awesome things have been happening with the animated versions of a lot of these stories. Tina says, for some reason, I'm seeing you on my flat screen and only the screen cap on my Chromebook. Someone else is having the same problem. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know why. I'm not hearing anyone else having any similar issues, so I'm going to assume that it's just a connection issue on y'all's end. Stray Dog says, do SJWs like or hate it? Again, it seems mixed. It seems very mixed on that front, but that to me is a good thing, because if it was more to the positive side, then I would be suspect. If it was more to the negative side, I would also still be suspect, right? But it seems to be a little bit more splits on what people think about it, and so I think that to me is the best thing for it. John Miller says, Odin, why are you talking about Joker? Rise of Skywalker is coming out. Yes, but it's coming out later than Joker. And do we really want to talk about the fact that that film is coming out and is likely going to see some really stupid things happen in the process? If you haven't seen my video from today, I talk about potential spoilers. There's a lot of different posts on Reddit that have said they have plot leaks available. Many people think that it's true. Some people think that it's suspect. I think it's probably somewhere in between, where some things will be true, some things won't be true. But yeah, I know that all of us are excited to find out what happens, right? All of us want to see episode 9 opening night. Darkness says, which do I go see for Christmas? Nightmares Fuel, Cats, or episode 9? Cats. I mean, Nightmare Fuel, Cats. If you just want to be disappointed, episode 9. But if you want actual Nightmare Fuel, go see Cats, for sure. Blake Elmo says, a lot of social justice warriors have been attacking the Joker movie as of late. It's crazy. Yeah, and also, because there has been a pretty, crazy amount of people attacking it, that makes me want to see it. Because if someone's attacking it saying, oh my gosh, it pervades the toxic culture. If you're saying that about a movie, it must be a pretty damn good movie. Because if that's the only critique you have, which is not an actual critique of the movie, but a political point and a political opinion, okay, keep that out of your damn movie review and instead just be honest. Smoothie on California says, I don't care about what they do to the story of the Joker movie. I just want it to make me laugh. I don't know which one you were going for. That's the Voldemort laugh, or if you were just trying to go with the I mean, there's so many different laughs. Bruce says, the look and feel of Joker seems like a throwback film that people don't realize it's what we all need. I agree. That's a great point, Bruce. I think that goes with what Cynical Centrist was saying. I think that's what goes with what Laura was saying, because it is a throwback in a lot of ways, it seems. It seems more old school. And we need more of that old school film today, because everything these days is all just crazy big budget nonsense. It's all crazy CGI fest movies. And we don't need more of those films. We don't need more remakes and reboots, etc. The fact that this is going to be a story about the Joker, and yet even from the trailers alone, it feels like such a different movie, that's a good thing. We need more movies like this in the culture, because we're not getting enough of them. All right, over on DLive, Tom19 says, have you seen the leaked Birds of Prey teaser? I have not, but something tells me that it's probably not looking very good. Dean Heiss over there says, hail Odin, just jumping in. Great to see you on Nerdrotic last night. Now we get you live on Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. Yes, very, very true. That's why for Fridays, it's not going to be for me at the very least. The stream's going to be weekly, and I know Gary, and Gary is always going to let anyone know on Twitter and social media if for any reason the council would be canceled. But I know that I'm not going to be on there every week. I'll be on there most weeks, but obviously I already stream 3 nights a week anyway, and 4 nights a week every single week is kind of pushing it, with my wife. And so I am going to be available for her. That's where my priority is. If my wife's like, let's go out tonight, I'll be like, all right. And then if I get back with enough time to jump on, I will jump on. But the plan is for me to be on most nights, and then there's going to be a rotation of people too. So that way there's always going to be enough people, right? There's always going to be people to fill those slots. And it's fun, right? It was a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us. It was a blast. Biffy Tannen, thank you for the lemon donation, man. I appreciate it. Captain Roy says, I don't care about episode 9. The Cats movies is more interesting. I agree. Like, to me, it's such nightmare fuel that I'm like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to see this to find out what the hell they were thinking. I kind of want to see Cats. It's crazy. Captain Peabody says, we have Biff Tannen run Marty. Run Marty! Well, it's Biffy Tannen, and Biffy Tannen is better than most, I would say, for sure. K-Man says, people complaining about toxicity about a movie of a psychotic person in a clown suit is crazier than the Joker himself. Yeah, maybe they hate it because it's a little too close to home for them. Maybe they're just uncomfortable with seeing something in the mirror. Dean Heiss, thank you for the 2 ice cream donations over there, man. I appreciate it. All right, jumping back over to the YouTube side of things. Single Centra says, your channel is so great because there is not only interaction with the host, but your insights are great. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And speaking of which, if you watched Nerdrotic last night, you found out that Odin is a bad Odin, hasn't seen a lot of movies. So today I finally have seen now Star Trek, the official movie, the first one. What is it? Star Trek isn't just Star Trek the official movie or something like that? So it's a very weird title for a movie, but Star Trek. I saw the first one. It was very long. It was way longer than it needed to be. It stole a lot of things from from other movies. Pretty shamelessly, I would say, including Space Odyssey. But overall, I liked the characters. Overall, I liked certain elements of the story. I also finally got to see Time Bandits. Sorry. Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits, and Time Bandits was freaking awesome. I had never seen that movie before until Gary recommended it last night, and everyone in the chat was like, oh my gosh, you have not seen anything. You're terrible. And like, I know, I'm awful. Thank you for reminding me how awful I am. I have a movie vlog, right? But apparently I haven't seen anything. But I finally saw Time Bandits, and holy crap, it was fan-freaking-tastic. Loved Time Bandits. If you've not seen it yourself, do yourself a favor and watch it. And so I'm already kind of building a list of other things that I need to see because there were a lot of other things mentioned. I know I need to see the other Star Trek films. Wrath of Khan, of course, is one where I wanted to see the first one first. But yeah, so it was fun. And thank you, Cynical. I appreciate that. Senate says, sup, forgot you stream Saturday. Am I late? Yeah, you're about 30 minutes late. But of course, I'm in the chat behind by about 20 minutes. So yeah, you're not too late then. Frank says, please explain to the new people that Frank is the real wiener dog. Thanks. Frank is the real wiener dog. What? I don't need to explain anything. Biffy Tannen's also on YouTube and says, in the film means that it takes place within the film. Oh, thank you, Biffy Tannen. Thank you very much for letting me know. In the film means that. Smooth California says, when I was a kid, I used to think the term indie film meant it was from India at Bollywood. I blame Slumdog Millionaire. No. That's we call that Bollywood. We just call that Bollywood. Phantom Menace says, do you hear about Funimation or whatever they are called audio leaks? I hope they are all fired, whether it's true or not. I've not seen it because isn't that part of like the Vic Mignogna story saga, which to be honest, I just have no interest in. That just doesn't interest me. And that's because I know other people are covering it and they're covering it well. And I just don't really have much stake in it. Tina says, I see Fox Searchlight has a movie with female Thor playing an astronaut. I didn't even recognize her until they put her name on the screen. Yeah, she was very unrecognizable in both face and voice. And yes, she is in that. And I'm sure that it's going to be filled. I'm sure it's just going to be filled with no politics in it whatsoever. Especially with those people, right? Especially with those people. I couldn't imagine. All right, let's see. Chat jumped on me. So let's see where we are. All right, so I'm at 7-11 in the chat, so very sorry if your comment was skipped. It was not my intention, but that's just what happens on YouTube. Junker Designs at 7-11 says he is pretty much a male Taylor Swift. Who? Alex Martinez, what's going on, bro? Tina says, welcome all. Yes, thank you for letting them know how to do things. Alex Martinez says, have you seen the new Dave Chappelle special that's on Netflix that's triggering all the SJWs? Yes, I have, and that's pretty much all that I can say about it as a teacher. All I can say is I saw it, and that's all I can say. Venom Broly says, everyone has the right to like bad movies as long as he knows it's bad. I like some. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I like bad movies, too. Tina says, hey, just because I'm not excited for that Joker movie doesn't make me a Captain Mabel or Last Jedi fan. # sick of supervillain movies. But we haven't really had a lot of supervillain movies, right? And also, he's not even a supervillain. He's never in the comics even been seen as a supervillain. He's been seen just as a very, obviously he's been portrayed in different ways in the comics. But that's why I'm excited for it, because he is pretty much a grounded person. Like, obviously not a grounded person, but he is a part of that. No, it's, Batman himself is not a superhero, right? He's someone who's very rich, who's very, very smart and bright, has this really awesome tech to help him out. And the Joker is just as bright and just as cunning, and is able to use modern everyday things in very interesting ways. And so that's why I think that it actually will work for this film more than any others. Alfreda says, it's good to see you doing better. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Smoothie California says, do you believe they put a man on the moon? Absolutely. This might cause some... apparently, because I know there's some people out there that do believe this, but I think that it's without a shadow of a doubt a fact. We landed on the moon, people. Any evidence that you have to suggest that we haven't is based in lies. A throne of lies. Biffy Tanner, thank you for the lemon over on D-Lab, man. I appreciate it. Captain Roy says, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan is my favorite. It's really good. That's what I've heard. So I wanted to watch that one first before going and diving into anything else. So can't wait. Cannot wait. Might try and do that tomorrow. Let's see. Theoa says, you know why I'm hyped for this movie, Joker? It's because it's in his own universe, its own thing. DC has a lot of potential with solo character focused movies. Yeah, I agree, Theoa, about that. However, I don't think having a bunch of separate stories and separate universes is necessarily the best thing that they could do, seeing that they've been trying to build up their own connected universe. And now they're not doing that in some films, but they're not being clear, right? I just think that they're not being clear with their intentions. And I think that is what's in the end going to hurt them overall. I think that they need to be a little bit more clear about what's going on in their movies. Nickelodeon says, is there any movie that you really like that was universally panned by both critics and your circles of friends and family? Peppermint with Jennifer Garner. It's not a good film by any means, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself with it. So look it up, Peppermint. She plays a wife who loses her family, and then she disappears and becomes a badass, seeking revenge, but also is dealing with a lot of PTSD. And I love it. I've only seen it one time, but I really want to see it again. If it goes on sale for $5 on Blu-ray on Black Friday, I will probably buy it because, again, it's not a good movie necessarily, but I like it. So that would be an example of a film that a lot of people hated. It was panned by critics, which was surprising, right? A strong female character, but they hated it. They thought it was awful. Why? Because, oh, she had to use a gun. Oh my gosh. We can't have movies like that. Which is probably why people, these critics are hating on Joker too, because they're looking at it saying, oh my gosh, but we need gun laws in our country. And this film is trying to show people that it's okay to go crazy. And it's like, do you realize how stupid you are when you say that? It's okay to go, just shut up. Like, seriously. Again, if you're trying to make politics where politics doesn't exist, you are the crazy one who needs some help. K-Man, thank you for the 2 ice cream over there. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Alex Martinez says, have you heard that the Dragon Ball Z Funimation leaks and scandal? I already talked about that. Junker Design says, Disney could be buying their own DVDs just like theater tickets. Well, it could be that, Junker. We don't have any actual evidence of it yet. Again, I always try and wait till there's actual evidence of it before I say, all right, boom, we can talk about this more fully. It's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility, but also keep this in mind, right? Because every time you walk into a Best Buy, Walmart, any place that sells physical media, and because in the opening weeks of Captain Marvel, you had hundreds of copies on display, just based on probability alone, you're more likely to reach more people because of all those copies being there, right? Even though people might not be going out of their way to buy it, like they are for Alita, where they're selling out the copies that they have, you do have just more exposure. So it makes sense that it would be selling more, and it would be selling more individual copies. With Alita, because there just haven't been enough copies by the fact that we've gone to these stores and there's always copies missing from most of the stores, it seems that people are going out of the way to find it, and they're just not keeping up with the supply, or rather, they're not keeping up with the demand. So I think that there's definitely a little bit more to it. Tina says, what the heck is The Kitchen? I've never heard of it. Basically, and this is the reason why I get confused, because I haven't seen that or the other film that was very similar to it. But basically, there are a bunch of men that, of course, are running a crime syndicate, a crime family. They get caught in this one. I think in the other one, they die on the job or something. But basically, it all stands down where the women involved, the wives involved, now they have to step up and run the show. That's what it is. And again, some people are saying, oh, they're totally different movies. Is that not the basic description of the plot for both of those movies? And if so, how are they different? All right, Grandmaster Yoda says, Captain Marvel sold percentage of shipped copy, have Alita beaten by my... Okay, dude, gotta put... Because especially you know how to do the Odin question, man. Spend some time forming and spelling those sentences, because otherwise I have no idea what you're talking about. Bruce says, just FYI, you said codes, but I'm sending you my once viewed Blu-ray copies of Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Oh, Bruce, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm not sure how many people are going to want Kong Skull Island, seeing that that film has a certain Brie Larson actress in it, but... There might be someone that wants it. You never know. Darkness says, Disney is trying to stay afloat by buying their own stuff since they know common audiences are starting to catch on. Once again, we don't actually have physical evidence of that at this point. So if we ever do get that, then I will totally talk about it nonstop. And it wouldn't surprise me. Robert Frey says, Alita is selling almost identical to Ready Player One in their first 3 weeks. Yeah, I haven't been able to dive fully into it yet because I've been sick for one. There's been so many other things to talk about. And yeah. Let's see. Tina says, if you want Odin to say thank you for letting them know. Cynical Centrist says, no pressure to see The Kitchen. I just like movies set in the urban 70s. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that there's definitely people that have certain eras in film. Alex McCarthy, for one, loves anything in the 80s. Cynical Centrist loves urban 70s films. I tend to like 90s films. 90s is my comfort area. That's where I feel like I am the strongest. Alex Martinez says, Chris Stuckman gave The Kitchen an F. Well-deserved it is. As long as with the bombing at the box office. Well, again, I think that people are still going to like films. Obviously, I'm not, for example, I'm not the end-all, be-all film criticism. Chris Stuckman's not the end-all, be-all of criticism. None of us are the pinnacle of opinion, right? Because that's just nonsensical thinking. But I think that there's definitely something to that, right? Because Stuckman tends to, for the most part, and no one's perfect, even I'm not perfect, tends to look at more films in a more of an objective way. And I think that he probably doesn't get caught up in the things that might catch us up, right? Like for me, I like Peppermint, but it's not a good movie. Most people would say that it's awful, right? in the same way, too, we can say things about the kitchen, but yet there are people even in this chat right now that overall liked it, and because of certain elements of the film. I like another film, Timeline, which is based off of a much better book by Michael Crichton, and it's a movie that I love. It is a movie that I absolutely love, and you want to know why? I love the Middle Ages. So I've got a bias towards films like that. So that's where I sometimes have to step back and say, by the way, I love this movie, but just so you know, that doesn't make it a good movie. It just means that I love it for this and this reason, right? So I think that's a similar comparison to be made when it comes to that film. CB says, how do you feel about the new Rambo movie? It could be great. I mean, it realistically could be great. I kind of hope that it's great because it would be great to have a reason to go see it. I still need to see some of the other Rambo films. I've only seen the first 2 Rambo films. But I hear that the newer one, like the newer Rambo that came out in, 2008 or so, was actually pretty solid. So if this is going to be the official end of the series, I think that it has some potential. I'm hoping, man. Captain Roy says, Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing. Now, Captain Roy, let's not dive into the conspiracy theories. Let's not do that here, please. You save that for the exozone, sir. Love it. Alex McCarthy says, I would rather have Alita 2 over this rumored A-Force. I know my taste in movies are questionable at all times, but we can all agree Alita was awesome. P.S. Fast 7 and 8 are flawed. Exactly, yeah. I mean, you enjoy them, but you can at least admit that they're flawed, and I think that's definitely where we can agree on that. And yeah, most people would probably say, yeah, Alita 2 deserves a hell of a lot more right to exist than a freaking A-Force movie. Dear Lord, no one is, seriously, I can probably count, and again, hyperbolic speaking people out there in the internet who, oh my gosh, he said he could count on one hand the people that would support A-Force. Silly people out there. Jordan Farrell says, I think I saw you on a Flick Pick video. You maybe did, Jordan Farrell? Jordan Farrell or Farrell? Jordan Farrell. Maybe it's Jordan Farrell. But thank you, yeah. I've been in a couple of his videos, actually. We did a movie review of Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw because he invited me to a screening of that. And then he just posted recently a clip from his podcast, which, by the way, has gotten so much hate because we were critical of the last episode 9 trailer, because we were critical of Star Wars, because he said the words, yeah, that piece of turd known as episode 8, The Last Jedi. Oh my God, you can't say that. And now he's, because like, John was sending me some things, and I was like, yeah, man, well, welcome to what we currently are dealing with right now, where you can't even have an opinion about a Star Wars movie without being labeled every name in the book and getting crazy dislikes from crazy people. Yeah. But I also showed him someone who was on the, who was in the tweet thread where they said, this is now giving me a reason to like and subscribe to John's channel. I was like, there you go. You're getting some subscribers from this too. John Mugger says, Odin, we call them NPCs now. Get with the times. No. They're SJWs. I've seen too many things in my life to change my mind. Mike Martinez says, an A-Force movie sounds horrible. That would be the final nail in the coffin for the MCU. There's a lot of things that could definitely fit that bill. Venom Broly says, will you go see the movie with the Tijuana versus the TLGBTQ in the Mexican refugees camps with all the bad white orange men, soldiers, and old Swartzy? I might see it because obviously I want to be able to talk about it. However, does that mean that I think it's going to be good? No. The joke that I've been making constantly is that it comes out on All Saints Day, and they seriously will need all the saints in heaven to make a profit on that movie. I really do believe that. Instead, I will probably end up seeing Harriet, which also comes out November 1st, which is a movie that I'm much more excited for. If you have not seen the trailer for Harriet, it's the story of Harriet Tubman, and it's her being a badass. And I thought the trailer was pretty solid. And I found out after the fact from Laura, the cynical centrist, that the actress that's playing Harriet Tubman was in my favorite movie of last year, Bad Times at the El Royale. So that has me very excited. 70B in the house says, sup, homie? What's going on, Steph? Glad to see you here. Hope everything went fine tonight. We've got a birthday coming up on Monday, I believe, right? On Monday. We got a very special Valkyrie birthday coming up very soon. So we'll have a birthday bash for her, just like we had for Tina. I'll have to see what she wants. Dean Heiss says, if SJWs hate Joker, them I like it. Exactly, Dean Heiss. Bruce says, if a critic says it promotes toxic masculinity, that's a positive selling point to me. Exactly. Cynical Centrist says, a cultural attaché to Greece. Yes, exactly, Cynical. You know what I'm talking about. Seriously, if you've never seen Birdcage, do yourself a favor. It has some of the best lines ever written for the screen. So this is hell. And there's a crucifix in it. How about them dolphins? I feel betrayed, bewildered. I love it. It's so good. It's so funny. That's just what Rush Limbaugh said. Oh, it's so good. Mikey Martinez says, Joker has been getting critically acclaimed so far. I can't wait to watch the movie. Same here, Mikey. Same here. Cynical Centra says, I heard Joaquin listened to hysterical laughter to come up with his Joker laugh. Yeah, I think that, adding on top of that, Cynical, I think that what also happened was that he studied basically people with, was it multi-personality? Or he studied people with a certain condition, which is going to be what the condition of the character has. So that's, again, the reason why I knew that his acting would at the very least be the peak of the entire movie, because he's more of a method type actor where he's going to dive into the role. He's going to try and learn the mindset of the person. And it helped him create, I think, a very, very, very unique and creepy laugh, which to play the Joker, you need to have. So yeah, I'm so excited for it. The motion picture, thank you. Star Trek, the motion picture. Jugger Designs, thank you. I appreciate that. Darkness says, how can it steal when it came out before Space Odyssey? Wait, did it? It came out before Space Odyssey? Did it really? I thought it came out after. Let me check my ledger. 2001: A Space Odyssey. That film came out in 1968. Star Trek. I don't know if that's correct. Star Trek the Motion Picture. So 68. Star Trek the Motion Picture came out in 79. Yeah, you're wrong, dude. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Darkness, you don't drop bombs like that. You don't correct the Allfather unless you've done your research. Unless you've done your research, man. 2001: Space Odyssey was way ahead of its time. It might seem like it came out after, but oh yeah, that was a 60s movie, man. Whoo, man. Darkness. Don't you dare question the Allfather unless you have some facts to back that up, bruv. Because I was about to go crazy with that, saying, what? That doesn't make any sense. But it did come out. So again, Star Trek movie came out way after 2001: Space Odyssey and totally copied off of it. So we stand in what we said before. We stand right. Stray Dog says, the absolute best antagonists are those that the viewers feel connections to. I agree. Tina says, Star Trek the Motion Picture was Paramount having that was intended to be a TV episode expanded into a movie. I saw it when it first came out. Yeah. Yep. Tina says, but Wrath of Khan is the greatest, and then you can bleach your brain of that J.J. Abrams trash. All right, cool. Well, at least now I know the next thing I'm going to do is going to be, it's going to be see the right one, right? Let's see. Captain Frank says, you have to be days on the same day? You have to be days on the same day? What, Captain Frank? What are you even talking about, man? What are you even talking about? Thank you for those 3 lemons, though. I appreciate it. Biffy Tannen, thank you for that lemon. I appreciate it. Dean High says, so Alita's been out for over a month now. Do we have any actual sales numbers? We do. It's at around 600,000 for Blu-ray and DVD sales. So not nearly as high as we wanted, but I'm still waiting a little bit more. K-Man, thank you for the 2 ice cream. I see Brad was spamming certain things, so I don't know where I am supposed to be in the chat right now. But Captain Mr. Roy gifted a 1-month subscription to the K-Man. Dude, Captain Roy, thank you for your generosity, man. Didn't you gift Didn't you gift Peabody his subscription? Someone else did. Well, thank you very much, man. So welcome, Captain K-Man. We got Captain K-Man now over on the D-Live for the next month. Captain K-Man, welcome, good sir. You are now a captain. Oh, Captain, my captain. Captain Peabody says, Star Trek was the in-flight movie when Peabody went to America. Boom. Nice, man. Sounds like... And then he says, I slept through it. Well, that beginning is very long. I mean, seriously, when they're flying to the Enterprise, and literally it's long take of the ship with the music in the background, back to Kirk's face, no dialogue, back to the ship, and it was like, oh my God, how long can this go on for? The movie literally could have been cut a good 30 minutes off, and you would have lost no plot. You could have cut 30 minutes off and lost no plot. Gosh, man, I tell you. Senate says, you're awful, Odin. How dare you not see movies? I know, right? I'm a terrible human being. Alex Martinez says, if any of the rumors are true about the rise of Soy Walker, it could just be pure nightmare-inducing, caustic, deleterious garbage. Well, those are some $5 words. Jay Stowe says, what are a few great indie films out there in your opinion? Whiplash, great indie film. Nightcrawler, excellent indie film. I'm thinking of films that have come out recently. So those would be ones that I would go to. First and foremost. Off the top of my head, those are the first films that come up. All right, chat jumped on me. We are now at 7:29 in the chat. So, Mike Martinez says, I have a whole list of movies to watch and catch up on. It's crazy. Same here. I used to have an actual list, and then I just couldn't keep up with the list anymore, and so now I don't know where that list is. Tina says, I figured Natalie is going to go psycho astronaut in it. I thought it was going to be about the crazy astronaut who did the long-distance drive while wearing diapers. Yeah, she would probably do something crazy, I'd imagine. Sean Review says, what is your opinion on the straight pride parade that is going on in Boston? People have the right to do what they want. As long as you don't hurt anybody else, you have the right to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's where I stand on it. Junker Design says, you missed the first half. Sorry, I was asking your thoughts on The Mandalorian. The main actor, though, Pedro Pascal, tweets like Taylor Swift. Yes, he does. So, Mandalorian, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that it has some potential. I've liked the footage that I've seen so far. I do like Jon Favreau as a visionary guy, but he's also not perfect. He's also made The Lion King, so there's that. I think that it's something, though, based on everything we've seen, based on the fact that they've gone back to focus mostly on practical effects, has me a lot more excited for it than anything else in Star Wars right now. I would say that Clone Wars Season 7, I'm slightly more anticipating because Dave Filoni has not let me down yet. So, but Mandalorian's right up there too. Bruce says, no, Funimation VAs did some unsavory stuff, off-the-cuff recordings of Dragon Ball Z characters that got the parent company, Toei Animation, pissed off. No, Funimation VAs did some unsavory. Okay, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about then. I do not know what you're talking about then, my friend. Rosetta Allen says, for me, I'll be clear. I have zero interest in the new Star Wars. None. Oh, hi, by the way. Oh, hi, Rosetta. How are you? I hope your trip went well. Soul Assassin says, we all know that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing in Hollywood. Rosetta Allen says, to be fair, most gangster movies are the same plot over and over. That is a fair point. That is definitely a fair point for sure. But there's definitely some differences. Sigil Centra says, I want Kong Skull Island. Loki is nummy. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot. There might be some other people in the chat that might think he's also nummy. Michael Martinez says, the movie that is similar to The Kitchen is a movie called Widows that came out in 2018. Yes, The Widows. That's the film that's like very, very, very similar, where the women take over. That's pretty much what it is. Bruce says, I just looked and I do have the unused code for Godzilla 2014. It shows as expired in 2017, but it could still be good. I'll email it to you. Awesome, Bruce. Thank you. Yeah, most of those codes don't go bad. Most don't, but some do. So thank you. I might make that a part of a package just in case it is bad. Alex Martinez says, the good thing about Kong Skull Island is when Brie Larson says you can't kill Kong, Samuel L. Jackson says, be please. Biatch. Yeah, yep. Yes, he does. Rosetta Allen says, I love the Middle Ages as well, though a lot of damn right they are, and usually I like them. Genesis says, movie night, Rambo 3. Yeah, we definitely need to have a movie night soon. Bruce says, the last Rambo was good. I've heard that a lot. Blake Elmo says, if you want to make a group of fake feminists mad, just tell them get their butts back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, and don't forget to bring me a beer. Yeah, that does piss them off. That does piss off people. That's for sure. You can't... I've tried joking like that with Freya. Freya does not appreciate that type of joking. So I usually have to hold myself back when it comes to those types of jokes. Alice McCarthy says, boo, Odin, go finish them Rombos. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Feral? Jordan Farrell. So it's not Farrell, it's Farrell. That's totally different than what I thought. That's none of the things I suggested were right. Mark Krell says, will Disney fake the moon landing as Walt Disney was the best friend of NASA boss back in the day? Of course it's Disney's fault. Grandmaster Vito says, I think DC will use Joker to boost Batwoman the same weekend, but I think it will hurt by 99% of DC fans will see Joker that weekend. I don't think they're going to use it to help with Batwoman. I don't see them doing that because they're not the same. Batwoman is much more comic booky than the Joker is. I just don't see it. To me, it would be such a disconnect. It would not make any sense. Rosetta Allen says NPC and SJWs are not the same. Both suck, but NPCs can be tolerable. Can they, though? If you mean in a game, then yes. In a game, of course they can. Captain Peabody says, I'm still waiting to see your review of Razorback. It's on the list. Frank and the Clan says, you have 2 birthdays on the same day, Steph and a Superfan. Oh, okay. So Superfan has a birthday on that day too. But Steph's getting all the focus, Frank, because Steph is amazing. Frank is amazing too. Frank's dad's amazing too, but Steph's a Valkyrie. Awesome, man. We'll definitely shout you out on the stream as well. Let's see. Where are we in the chat over on ZD Live? Frank says, I can't call you captain, dude. You're stealing that title and you don't have it. So Frank and the Clan says, do like this for Odin to see. Yeah, just put at Odin at the very beginning and I'll be able to read your comment over there. Yes, thank you, Peabody, for letting them know how it goes. Frank says, last year you did a double stream. Last year, yes. Last year, though, you were around every single stream. Lately, you've been a busy boy. We'll see. Alex Martinez says, it's the Terminator. Just as I say, now Captain Roy has given the captainship to Frank. He's gifted 2 subscriptions over on D-Live. So Captain Mr. Roy has been extremely generous tonight. So now Captain Frank is a captain officially. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Now we've got Captain K-Man, Captain Frank, Captain Roy, Captain Peabody. We got all the captains in the chat tonight. Oh, captains, my captains. Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. My D-Live fam. Captain Frank. Alex Martinez over on YouTube says, it's the Terminator Karen versus the T1 Taco 1000. Tina says, she'll be in and out. She has to mingle with the Bruce Wayne types who write those big checks. Yes, that's right. That's why I was surprised that she was here at all. Agador Spartacus. He prefers to be called by his full name. John Winkler. Good. I miss Robin. He was full of passion for what his craft was. Ninja Girl 2269 says, what date does Joker come out? Very beginning of October. Release date October 4th. Actually, it comes out the start of my fall break, which means I've got plenty of time to see it as many times as I want. Very excited for that. Single Center says, he can't chew bubblegum. He can't chew gum while he's singing. Oh, Birdcage. Nothing quite gets me like Birdcage quotes. God, I love it so much. Theoa says, Birds of Prey teaser is just filmed from a theater. It's a teaser trailer that lasted 20 seconds that show just okay. It doesn't just anything. I think the movie will be, wait, what? That didn't make any sense. Kiko Rogers says, time to get out the red pen. Total teacher move. Yeah, seriously. Time to get out the red pen. Rosetta Allen says, oh yeah, Star Trek Movie Nation and Picture was after, but Roddenberry was notorious for borrowing ideas. Yeah, you could definitely tell he borrowed from that one. Single Center says, chewing gum helps me think. Sweetie, you're wasting your gum. Yeah. Chewing gum helps me think. Sweetie, you're wasting your gum. Cleanser says, you like medieval movies? Do you see Solomon Kane? No, I have not, but it's been on my list of movies to see for a long time. Because also, was it Will Pelfrey or, oh my God, what's his name? He was in A Knight's Tale, actually. He, I believe, is Solomon Kane in the film. So many captains over there right now. We got Captain Larry is over there as well. All the captains are here. Captain, my captain, man. What is going on? We got some excitement going on over there. Captain Peabody says, and we know, thanks to Frank, you don't have a shortage of red pens. That's very true, Captain Peabody. That's very true. So for those that were not part of the stream during those days, at one point in time, oh Lord, Captain Larry, at one point in time, Captain Frank, who's actually Adam Shawhan, super fan Adam Shawhan, he sent me a care package that included basically an endless supply of red pens, which I still have. I brought a lot of them to school. I will never run out of red pens now because of him. Aiden Vickery says, 2001 came out the year I was born, and a month or so before my 50th last year, I got to see 2001 on the big screen. It was beautiful. Aiden Vickery, the same thing you're talking about back last year, that was the first time I ever saw the movie. I got to see it in IMAX for my first time. And some people might say it took you that long to see it, but also at the same time, others said, man, I wish my first time could have been on a giant screen with, perfect image and sound and everything. Tina says, I think some of the folks who worked on 2001 also worked on Star Trek. I just watched a 2-hour documentary on the making of 2001, and now I finally get that movie. Nice, Tina. Very cool. Very cool. All right, chat jumped on me over on the YouTube, so let me just go ahead and push back up in the chat. We're at 740 in the chat. Alex Carly says, boo, Odin, go finish. Oh, wait, hold on. I got that one already. All right, so maybe I'm not behind. Maybe I'm not that far behind in the chat. Maybe I'm not that far behind after all. All right, where are we? Electric Pizza says, have you seen the classic Trek episode Space Seed? You should watch it before watching Wrath of Khan. I've not. I have not watched any of the original Star Trek episodes. Just was never my cup of tea, to be honest. I prefer Next Gen a little bit more. Peter Han says, is Angel Has Fallen worth seeing? I haven't seen it yet because I never had any interest in seeing the others in the series because it's the third in a trilogy. And Gerard Butler, to me, just doesn't scream leading man. And so I've just never seen any of them. Cynical Centra says, my Guatemalaness, my natural heat. Your what? My Guatemalaness. I love it. Yes. Yes. Keep those quotes. Cynical Centra says, the wife knows one of the drag queens in the birdcage. Really? Oh, that's awesome. That movie is so good. Tina says, that's true. Go on Netflix or Hulu, watch the first season Star Trek episode, Space Seed, then watch Wrath of Khan. You need the background. I do, says Tina. Maybe I will. You might have to remind me in our private chat on Twitter. Cynical Sanchez says, watching Mindhunter, has anyone else seen it? Real life crime is so intriguing. I saw the pilot episode, actually. I saw the first episode for it, and it's great. It is a meticulous show. It's slow. It's a slow burn, but it's quality slow burn. So that's the reason why it just has taken me a while, because you can't just watch it, you have to be in the right space to watch it. I actually just started watching Carnival Row on Amazon because Gary was talking about it a lot last night, and it made me intrigued by it, and I watched the first episode. First episode was pretty good and solid. There's some people that are saying that it's woke and that it's SJW, and then they point out that it has immigration. But I think they fail to realize that the immigration that they're dealing with for the most part is like old school immigration from like people moving to the Americas, only now it's people going to basically England, right? The equivalent of what England would be. Obviously, they have some different names there. And that's what it reminds me a lot of, because they're going by old school ship, and there's many ships that crash on the way and treated like second class citizens. That's what it was like for a lot of Irish and Italians that were, moving around. They were treated. It was interesting that there was a lot of, in a way, racism going on, and people were mistreated just because they were from a different country. And I think that we failed to remember that that's been a part of immigration for a long time, and it's not just new. There's some people that think, oh my God, it's new to 2016, and it's like, no. 2016 is not when all of this type of thinking started, right? This has been around for a long time, and also there's very different things going on right now. Like to try and simplify something as complex as the issues going on with immigration and everything else, as to say, oh my God, just stop. But so far, I'm liking Carnival Row, except for the fact that it's got gratuitous sex. Scratch that. It doesn't have gratuitous sex, but it has very graphic sex. Like each episode has had one graphic sex scene so far, and I still don't understand why any show that's going to be on these premium formats, is going to be on these premium channels, has to have that. I don't understand it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should, because the sex scenes don't add anything to the story. They're just there. Like, seriously, it looks like they just sat down one day and said, hey, you know what we can do? We can have a sex scene. Let's have a sex scene. It's like, no. Just focus on the stories and the character. Besides that, the show's been pretty good. I've liked it. Simon Clock, thank you for subscribing. Also, some late, some subscriptions that happened over the last few days that are still up here. Tweeter Trash, Lil Puppet, Second 58th, Bramblebush, and Goggy. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Rosetta Allen says, trip was amazing. Got some awesome animal shots. Been sorting pics to stream them and share stories Monday night after you, of course. Nice, Rosetta Allen. That's awesome. Bruce says, just wait. I'm sending Kong Skull Island to you for a giveaway along with the other two. Awesome, Bruce. We can definitely wait. Rosetta Allen says, sadly, I don't even remember my own kitchen rant I did a couple months ago to make you laugh. It was fun, though. Peter Hand says, movie night weekend at Bernie's 2. See who your hardcore fans are. Why is it bad? I've never seen that one. Invigry says, my favorite of that type of joke. Why are wedding dresses white to match the kitchen appliances? Rosetta Allen says, NPC people who know their NPC and don't front expertise are fine. The rest suck. Well, I think they're all part of the same ilk. They're only becoming NPC or SJW when they go too far. Like, I think that's where the difference between someone with a left ideology versus someone who's an SJW. Like, I think that's where the difference for me is. Arthur Denlanique, thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate it. Some crazy stuff going on right now over on the D-Live. Crazy stuff going over on D-Live. Captain Larry 2001 has resubbed for 3 months and is on a 4-month sub streak. Captain Larry, dude, thank you, man. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate that. Captain Larry, rocking it over on D-Live, man. Thank you so much. Captain Larry says, teachers live on red pens. That's true. That is very, very, very true. And candy bars. Red pens, Tim Tams, and candy bars. Yes, that's right. I forgot. I just went through them so quickly. Between us, we've messed up his diet. What diet, Captain Peabody? Oh, man. I love it. D9 says, Space Seed needed to understand the dynamic between Kirk and Khan. Okay, I got you. Cool. I got you. Thank you, Captain Larry. I really do appreciate that, man. Let's see. CWD Trixie says, what killed the DC Hero series? What killed the DC Hero series? The woke age. I can't do Arnold voice right now. Bruce says, Birdcage is just so laugh out loud funny. It is. And you know what's sad? You couldn't make that movie today. As progressive as the age is today, you couldn't make that movie. Someone would be offended by it. And that's sad because, to me, I think it's one of Robin Williams' best films. I think it might be one of his best movies of all time. And I'm not just exaggerating. I really do think it really is. Let's see. Superfan Adam Shawhan says, you are welcome, buddy. Frank loves you. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Tina says, did Odin just say Gerard Butler doesn't scream leading man? Oh, Odin. Wait until I tell Stephanie B what you said. Wagging finger. I know, right? Oh, I can't say that. My ladies, my Valkyrie, they love 300. It's not because it's a well-crafted, well-written movie. It's because of those abs right there. And his accent, let's be honest. Tina says, I'll put in our chat for sure. It will help make the Kirk's Khan story firmer for you when you see the movie. Okay, I got you. Jace Doe says, nice bubblegum quote from Birdcage, not Bird Box. Very, very different films. But nothing beats Roddy Piper's, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. In They Live. Yes, I've heard of this. That's a very famous quote from him. I've actually never seen They Live. That's another movie that's been on for a while. Captain Frank says, you know we all love you, man. And you know I love you too, man. You know I love you too. Holy crap. Captain Roy has now gifted a 1-month sub to Poppy 10. Whoa. Man. Captain Roy is on fire tonight, man. We got Captain Larry, who just resubbed for 3 months, and now Captain Roy is just dropping subs, gifting subs to people. Thank you, Captain Roy, man. You have been so freaking generous tonight, man. That's freaking awesome. So, Captain Poppyton, congratulations. Your captainship should be popping up soon. I don't know why it didn't pop up that time, but congratulations, man. Thank you, Mr. Roy. I appreciate it. Captain K-Man says, hasn't seen They Live? Yep, I have to send you a copy, says Captain K-Man. If you don't, Lord knows Bruce will. Captain Frank says, I've come here to chew... Yeah, exactly. I have come here to chew bubblegum and expose you to my wiener. Dogs. Yes. Have to add in the dogs there. Must keep it appropriate. Captain Peabody says, I think we should call Roy an admiral. At this point in time, he should be. I wish that there was another title I could give to him because, seriously, he should be an admiral at this point. Captain Poppington says, it's okay. Thank you, Mr. Roy. Dude, yes, thank you, Mr. Roy, and welcome, Captain Poppington. My captains of D-Live. What's going on, bruvs? You guys freaking rock. You guys freaking rock, my friends. You'll rock, my friends, indeed. Over on YouTube, we got Bruce who says, I cannot recall. Have you seen Children of Men? It's awesome. Yes, I have. I actually own the 4K Steelbook, and I actually had to hunt that one down because it's beautiful. And it's, maybe it wasn't. No, it's not on 4K yet. It has not been released on 4K yet, I don't think. I have the Steelbook, though, because the Steelbook is freaking beautiful. But yes, Captain, Children of Men is one of my all-time modern favorite films. And it's a movie I always forget about, too. But whenever I go back to it, I'm like, oh, that's right. I would say it has some of the best cinematography, bar none. Seriously, watch the film and just watch the camera work in that movie and come back and tell me what movies specifically have better cinematography. Like, don't just think of some movies right now that have good cinematography. Go watch Children of Men. Look at the camera work and then say which person could possibly craft something better. Because seriously, it really is that beautiful. Soul says, have you seen the Drop with Tom Hardy and James Gandolfini? Is pretty good. No, I have not. I remember it coming out, but I never saw it. Jeremy Swig says, is Puppy dreaming? She probably was. Now River is awake next to me, but yeah, Willow still. She's a puppy. Yeah, look at her. She's knocked out. Yeah. And now River's going to try and get in my lap. So Cynical Centrist says, DC is smart to go dark with Joker since Marvel has been Disney-fied. Yeah, no, I think Cynical Centrist, you're right. Because, and that's something too, most of the reviews that have been coming out of the Joker so far have been, this movie is extremely disturbing. When was the last time you heard that about a Marvel film? That's right, you've never heard that about a Marvel film. And you never will, because Disney owns it. DC, on the other hand, has so much more room to have these original stories that all go in different directions, which again, I think can be a cluster. Like, I really do think it could be chaos, and it can be really bad chaos. And I think they need someone in charge. And unfortunately, it might be JJ, which is not a good thing in my opinion, but they do need someone in charge to really keep everything connected and keep everything going in place, right? Because you can have a connected universe and then other stories that are independent, but you have to do it well. Otherwise, people are going to get very confused because we're used to, at this point, the Marvel connected universe, right? And so that's where I stand on that. But yeah, I think that for sure, Cynical Centrist, and Laura, I think you're right. Having a dark movie, a dark story, and again, apparently this movie, Joker, is disturbing. That's what it's all about, man. Holy crap, man. Holy crap. Captain Roy ain't done. Captain Roy ain't done. Captain Roy just now dropped another month gift subscription over on D-Live to Dean Heiss. Dean Heiss is now a captain. Poppyton, it looks like Poppyton rejected and denied his captainship. I mean, okay, Poppyton. Because it had captain next to Poppyton, but it looks like he may have rejected it. But Dean Heiss, welcome to the Captain's Club, man. Akira Kurosawa has beautiful cinematography. I agree, Poppyton. I agree. But again, watch that movie. I'm telling you. I'm telling you this, my friends. Over on YouTube, Bruce says, only Nixon could go to China. Only Robin Williams could make Birdcage. Cynical Centrist says, have you seen Meet the Spartans, the movie mocking 300? If not, it is Spaceballs funny. Is it really? It looked awful. I remember when the trailer for that came out, and I was so uninterested. It just looked so bad. Peter Han says, only Arnie and DeVito can be twins. Yes. Bruce says, I'll let Captain Caveman handle that one. Okay, it's K-Man, not Caveman. It's Captain K-Man. So Captain K-Ban, it sounds like you got it, man. He is reigning the subs. He is reigning the subs. Yeah, no, Poppy says no idea. Yeah, because it had you as a captain and now it doesn't. I didn't know. I don't know what's going on. Captain Larry reigning the subs. Captain Dean Heiss, we now have over on D Live. Thanks, Mr. Roy. Wasn't begging for one, just joking around, but thank you. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Captain Frank says 1 hour photo was also awesome. It was a great film. That was a great film. I agree, for sure. Poppyton is trying to restart and see what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That's weird. Bruce says, Children of Men seems like a high-budget indie film. It really does. But it is more of an indie film. I don't remember it having the biggest of budgets. But yeah, it's fantastic. CWD Trixie says, it should be Grand Moff Roy at this point. Yeah, it should be Grand Moff Roy. Grand Moff Roy. Cynical Zendra says, awful yet hilarious. Okay, Cynical, I got you. So talking to him there about Meet the Spartans. Jeremy Swig says, maybe he doesn't want promoted to captain. I mean, Kirk didn't want promoted either. Yeah. Jace Doe says, with the MCU and DCU, are there any other comic book companies you think would make for a good cinematic universe? As you all know, I'm not a comics person. That's why I love listening to people like Gary and Young Ripa, because they know their comics better than anyone else, and I learn a lot from them. So the only company I can think of would be Dark Horse, but that could be connected to one of those, and I wouldn't know because I'm a noob. But I guess Dark Horse, technically, maybe. I speak as a noob who really has no idea. Rosetta Allen says, I actually think Death to Smoochie is still one of my favorite ones. Oh my God, yes, Death to Smoochie. When he starts singing about how the actor is screwed and doing the dancing and everything, oh my God, it's so good. No, that's a good one. However, I think Birdcage is still better. Death to Smoochie is great. It is one of his best, but there's just something about his performance in Birdcage that just is bar none. Gray Troll is in the chat. What's going on, man? I'm actually caught up with the chat. It's crazy. That rarely happens. We got 144 people still watching. If you're over on YouTube right now and you haven't smashed the like button, please think about smashing that like button. It really does help out a lot. Thank you in advance. It's free. Thank you so much. And also, if you want to support the channel, but you don't want to or have the means to give money, think about using some of my affiliate links in the description below. If you want a metallic poster, boom, like the ones behind me, Alita and John Wick, there's links for that and how you can save some money on that. Amazon, if you shop on Amazon at all, if you use my link, I get a little kickback from your purchases, so it helps the channel out. I don't find out what you've bought, so you have your privacy still, but hey, think about it. Think about it. I don't like selling, but I have time now, which is very rare on these streams. Rosetta Allen says, the rhino is screwed. The rhino is screwed. Yes. Shapes come in all sizes. Robert Frey says, what size are your disc plates? The ones on the wall behind me, those are the mediums. So those are the smallest ones they have. I do have 3 larges as well. Let me go grab. F it, we'll do it live. I've been saying that I'm going to hang them up, but I'm going to go ahead and pull one out for you guys. As now my dogs are excited. So for anyone interested, this is what a large would look like. Look at that. Casablanca, one of my all-time favorites. So this would be like a standard movie poster size, right? So the mediums behind me, they're a little bit smaller, but this is the size of a typical one sheet, I would say. For equivalency, it's the size of a typical one sheet for a movie. But look at that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So this actually, because disc plate is really, I think, one of the best. This goes any YouTuber out there. If you like posters, check out Display, because if you get up with an affiliate link with them, they'll send you 3 free large posters. And it's like, so I bought the 2 behind me. They sent me 3 free ones, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. And you get you get 25% back for any purchase, which is insane when you think about all the other affiliate links out there and how little they do. Also, another way you could support the channel, and also you could get something in return, is you can buy a shirt. So if you're watching it on YouTube right now, I think I set it up where my Teespring pops up. So think about buying a shirt. They're really nice. I have, and I say this not to brag, But I say this to be honest. I have the cheapest shirts out of anyone in the Phantom Menace. I get very, very, very little profit off shirts. I made it as cheap as possible. Like literally, I was like, okay, here's how much it's going to cost, base value. I'll make maybe $1, $2 profit on shirts. So if you want to buy a shirt, they're pretty damn good. They're pretty damn comfortable. I like them a lot. You can get a very high quality shirt for not that much. I think it's a range of price between $13 and $16, when most other shirts are like $20 plus. So again, I don't like selling things, but I had time because I've caught up on all the chats. This is very rare. Rhaegar Targaryen says, have you seen The Dead Don't Die yet? Have you seen the reviews? I've not seen The Dead Don't Die yet. I saw like the first 5 minutes, and I had some concerns because it was very Orange Man bad for the most part. Andy Vicker says, how about The Fisher King for a great Robin Williams performance? Not seen it yet. But I'm now finally catching up on some Terry Gilliam stuff, so I think that's definitely going to be on my list of things to see. Rosetta Allen says, you are worth supporting. I am proud to donate to you. Well, thank you, Rosetta Allen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hail Odin's chair. Odin disappear. Don't worry, I won't disappear like EVS. Rhaegar Targaryen says, I will never watch another movie by Jim Jarmusch again. Yeah. So Odin does wear pants. Yes, I do. There's some people that say they don't for streams. I stay fully clothed. I have shoes on. Alex McCarthy says, the more the like button is smashed, the higher probability that I won't watch RIPD. Yes, please smash the like button so Alex McCarthy does not support that terrible movie. Jeremy Swig says, we get an Odin chair video like EVS had, at least for a few seconds. Yeah, I won't ever just disappear. Tina says, that Casablanca poster is beautiful. Thank you. I know, it's so good. So good. Buy the merch, says Shane Egan. Yes. Buy the merch. Jay Stowe says, was looking up and see Dark Horse is still their own. This day and age, it's hard to know who has what is for sure. No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to comic companies, comics have just been so mistreated, and have been just, it's a dying market, and it's not because the comics artists are bad, it's because of the ideology that's taken over the comics. So yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I'm surprised that Dark Horse has not been bought up by anything else at this point. Captain Larry, rain in the subs. Captain Frank says Robin was a real actor. Damn right about that. What else we got here? Captain Poppyton is back. Says, missed you too, Brad. They changed my hour, so I missed more than I want to. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Captain Poppyton. Glad to have you here. I like how it's going back and forth. I was gifted a sub, and it's gone again. Good. It just keeps disappearing, Poppyton. That doesn't make any sense. Captain Peabody says, yes, quite a few of us were gifted subs. Thank you again. Yeah, seriously. Captain Roy, thank you so much, man. Captain K-Man says, I think it's a glitch. It did it to me before, but not since. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Captain K-Man. Glad to hear it. Captain Frank says, Popeye Hook also epic. I'm not as much into Popeye, but Hook for sure. Yes. Great Robin Williams film for sure. Great film in general. Darkness79 is over on D-Live. What's going on, Darkness? Captain Frank says, also Old Dogs, very epic. Really? Is it? Captain Larry says, Teespring link does not go to your merch. Wait, what? If you're talking about on D-Live? On D-Live? Oh, no, you're right. It doesn't go directly to it. Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so my D-Live link is broken. I think it's because it got cut off. Governor Roy, yeah, seriously. So I just posted the link in the D-Live chat. That will take you to my marketplace. So go check it out. I'll have to fix the. Hold on one second. Edit panels, and then paste, submit. All right, so that should be fixed now. Cool. All right, so that should be fixed on D-Live. So thank you for letting me know about that. I appreciate it. Captain Peabody says, you are rocking those trapezoids. Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Got my traps, man. Yeah, seriously. Governor Roy. Thank you, Captain Larry, for letting me know, man. I'm glad I was able to fix that. Thank you so much. Jace Doe says, was looking it up and see Dark Horse is still... Okay, that one already. Soul Assassin says, of all the bars, you had to walk into mine. I know, seriously, such a great movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. It was actually an answer to a test I gave recently. I gave a freebie away, and I was like, what is one of my favorite movies? I, of course, told him which one it was because that would have been cruel to be like, you got to guess it. JKD Buck says, your shirts made more money than Soilo. Yeah, you're right, because Soilo lost $200 million. Jeremy Swig says, Jeremy wears pants also, but they're soy. They are. Seriously, who buys pre-ripped jeans? I'll tell you who. Jeremy. That's soy boy. Rosetta Allen says, all I have to say is Doug Fisney, Disney sucks. They really, really suck. Disney sucks. They really, really suck. Glinzer says, Hollywood is anti-gun. In other news, Angel Has Fallen #1 2 weeks in a row. That's a good, interesting point. Cobra Viper 999 says, watch The Brothers Grimm by Terry Gilliam. I have seen it, and the only reason why I did it was because I am a diehard Heath Ledger fan. And he is, what I love about the movie is when they originally went out for it, Heath Ledger was being considered for the role that Matt Damon played. But Heath Ledger wanted a role that was against type because he didn't want to ever be typecast. That's why he actually, he was that heartthrob, right? 10 Things I Hate About You, A Knight's Tale. He was on that track. He did not want to be on it. He wanted to be seen as a serious actor. So he took roles that were against his type, including that one. That's why I like that movie more, because he took a role that was not the typical role that he would have been given at the time. Peter Hand says, how do you feel about the fact that in 2017, Jeremy claimed Rian Johnson would be a legend at Last Jedi? Hey, man, I think that he spoke for a lot of people. I think there were a lot of people that were still on board even after The Force Awakens. And yeah, I think that it actually speaks volumes, And also the fact that he's able to now look at that and say, yeah, I was wrong. Rosetta Allen says, Robin Williams moved me as a kid so much. His roles reminded me to find joy in the crazy world. Yeah, seriously, absolutely. Kika Rogers says, have you seen Death of Smoochy? Absolutely. So good. Jeremy Swiggs, Robin's role in Good Will Hunting was amazing. Yeah, seriously. As a supporting role goes, the monologue he gives on the bench is some pretty awesome stuff, man. Alice McCarthy says, Hook and the Awakenings are pretty good in my opinion. Awakenings, very underrated performance from him in that, because also Robert De Niro's in that. And it's a very good role from him too. Stray Dog says, Birdcage, is Birdcage your favorite Robin Williams movie, or do you prefer a different one? At this point in time, it's my favorite. However, I can easily be persuaded because he did so many great films. He really did, Let's see. Rosetta Allen says pre-ripped jeans are moronic, period. D9 says, can we get a YouTube sucks? Yeah, YouTube sucks. YouTube sucks. YouTube sucks. Rosetta Allen says, don't forget Dead Poet Society. Yeah, exactly. Again, he's got so many classic films in his canon of work that there are just so many good ones. There really are. Yeah, for the big posters, I've got the Casablanca. I've also got a Nightcrawler poster. And I think I got It's a Wonderful Life? Or did I get 12 Angry Men? I got another classic one. I know that much. Tina says, I apologize, but I have no idea what Death of Smoochy is. Robin, yes, Tina, movie goddess historian Tina. Watch Death to Smoochy. You will laugh your ass off. It's so funny. It is so funny. Robin Williams plays a kids show host who goes crazy. He goes insane. I imagine that some people, let's see, did someone just start streaming? Whenever chats start leaving, usually it's I say Young Rip is streaming. Yeah, I see that. Also, I know there is a AEW pay-per-view tonight, which I'm gonna have to catch up on at some point. But yeah, it's so good. Kiko Rogers says rocket ship cookies. Oh man. Also, now there's so many captains over on DLive that beforehand I would just read comments from captains directly. They didn't have to put @Odin. Now I'm gonna have to put a rule in where you have to put @Odin even if you're a captain, because there's so many captains right now. It's crazy. Mork and Mindy, yes, great rule. Bork Bark. Patch Adams, Captain Dean Heiss, yes, for sure. AEW. Ron Williams and Jonathan Winters were a killer duo on talk shows, says Captain Larry. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why one of the most touching things of all time was when Jonathan Winters died. It was Ron Williams that gave him the tribute at the Oscars that year. I think it was the Oscars, and it was beautiful, man. It was either the Oscars or the Emmys. He gave a tribute at one of them to him, and it was fantastic. It was so good. Yeah, Captain Roy, Admiral Roy, Grand Moff Roy. You should be sorry. Jeremy Swig says, I believe Night at the Museum 3 was his last movie, and I feel his last lines were almost a goodbye. Yeah, no, me too. Absolutely. It's kind of creepy in some ways to look at that movie in retrospect, and also it came out so close to his death, and you look at that, you say, oh my God, it is like he's saying goodbye. I think that he had another movie in the pipe, because I know that there was at least one or two other movies that came out after that one, but as far as like big releases go, yeah, for sure. Alex McCarthy says, what dreams may come is good, a little creepy but good. What dreams may come. I mean, any film he's done is great. Tina says, okay, I vaguely remember hearing about that. Okay. So Alan says, don't forget the kids host what? Huh? What? Stray Dog. Mrs. Doubtfire. Very special place in my heart, Mrs. Doubtfire, because that is a movie that I watched with my brothers and sister all the time as a kid. That was a family movie for us. And it was so touching and hilarious. 911, 911. It also really made me want to go to voice acting. And then I realized it takes a lot of work to go to voice acting. And so I just never did. Tina says, we need another trivia night sometime. I need to rework the old questions I sent you and have a few more. Tina, you're right. We have not done a trivia night in a long time. And yes, we need to get all that stuff. We need to do trivia nights. I need to get my Saturday movie mornings going because I do want to start doing that now. I might do a movie morning either tomorrow or not tomorrow. No, scratch that, reverse it. Maybe Monday morning because I'm off for Labor Day. Maybe we'll do a movie morning over on the Welcome to Asgard channel because we haven't done a movie morning in a while, and I want to do them. Rosetta Allen said Death Smoochie was so hard to watch for years because of how suicidal he was in it. Yeah, absolutely. Rosetta Allen says groupie like obsessed. Okay, sorry. It was the way it was presented. I was like, groupie shouldn't be the word that's here right now. Yeah, I get what you're talking about. Okay, I gotcha. Captain Peabody says, Roy was just trying to show we are all important in this community that you, Odin, created. Well, thank you. And you are. Every single one of you are seriously. And that's why, and I hope people weren't leaving because they're like, oh God, he's trying to sell us on stuff. You don't have to buy anything. I will continue to do the same thing that I do. I love talking to you people. I love talking to people that agree with me, disagree with me. As long as we're all a community at the end of the day, that's what the most important thing is. So I hope people weren't leaving because I was trying to sell stuff. Seriously, because at the end of the day, I'm not. If you do, though, it supports the channel. It supports the work that we do. And I know that not everyone can directly donate cash. They don't have the money, but maybe there's something that they do have to buy, or maybe there's something that they do have to get, or there's something that they do want, and they have money enough for that, and that's the only reason why I bring it up. And I really hate talking about it too. Darkness says, I hate Labor Day weekend. Why? It is personal. Okay. Jeremy Swick says, his graduation speech in Jack, he was hilarious movies, but his heartfelt speeches were... Well, people forget that he was classically trained. I mean, he went to Juilliard. People forget that he was a legit, like, as far as like, if you were ever to say someone's a legit actor, he was that legit actor. He checked off all the boxes of what, serious dramatic actors did. But he was also hilarious. He was also a stand-up comedian. He was also all these other things. And that's why his work was so beautiful, was because he could do serious like no one else, but he could do comedy like no one else also. Rosetta Allen says, good night, all father troublemaker. Anpetu Waste, don't bother trying to pronounce it. I'm not. Hammer says, Mr. Mitoker went live 15K watching. Who's Mr. Mitoker? That's a new name. Legit 36 says, what's 8 Mile Odin up to? 8 Mile Odin has been, so you know how I saw, because I did answer a question earlier and I saw someone else ask about it. So you know how Dave Chappelle went to Africa to find himself? 8 Mile Odin has now also gone to Africa to find himself, to connect to his roots, Hammer says, Emmanuel Lubetsky shot Children of Men, the GOAT Steadicam DP. Yes, Emmanuel Lubetsky is one of the greatest cinematographers. He won the Oscar for Best Cinematography 3 years in a row. Who does that? Emmanuel Lubetsky. He is like no other, man, I tell you. New Coke is a joke. Yeah, seriously. Hammer says, my favorite DP is Jordan Cronenweth, Blade Runner. Roger Deakins said he couldn't compete with Jordan Creditor's talents. Well, Roger Deakins is great too, man. I'm glad Roger Deakins finally got recognized at the Oscars. Even though they don't really mean anything anymore, if anyone deserved one, it was him. All right, we're going to start to wrap things up here. We just hit the hour-and-a-half mark. Let's see what we got going on over on the D-Live. Captain Frank says, Merry freaking Christmas and Night at the Museum 3 were released posthumously. Absolutely nothing is the last of Williams' 3 films. Absolutely anything is the last of his film. Oh, that's what I thought. Captain Frank says, Odin appreciates you just watching these streams. Yeah, seriously. I mean, if I only supported people that gave money, no one would be watching because that's not what I do. And that's why you are all amazing, because you don't have to do that. I read every single comment. I don't just read super chats. Why do you think people don't super chat a whole lot? It's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't need to. And I always wanted to create a place where everyone felt welcome. Because what I saw, especially this is the reason why I started doing the one-man low council, is because I saw the high council and I was like, this is awesome. This is freaking great. But there are so many people that are chatting and trying to get their attention, and they're never seen. And obviously it's because you've got, 1,000 people watching. It's hard to keep up with it, But that's what's great about this channel, is that it's just small enough where I can read all comments. That's why the only thing I ask is that you put Odin question, which is free. I don't ask you to pay anything to have a comment read, And that's just what I want to do, Money's great, but at the end of the day, it's not everything. Captain Poppyton, thank you for the diamond donation, says, thank you, Roy. Yes, indeed. Captain Poppyton, thank you so much for the diamond, man. Captain K-Man just donated 3 ice cream. Thank you very much for the 3 ice cream, Captain K-Man. Captain Dean Heiss also is thanking Mr. Roy. Yes, let's give it a huge D-Live fam. Let's get some GIF blitz going on right now in recognition of the Admiral Roy, of Grand Moff Roy, of the Captain of Captains Roy over on the D-Live fam, because you guys are freaking awesome. Aspergarthy says, New Coke, gross. I am Team Mountain Dew. God bless you, and God bless you as well. Glonald Dover, hail the All-Father. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you too. Captain Larry just dropped a ninja guinea on my head. He says, enjoy. Thank you, dude. My God. Again, D-Live fam is awesome. Captain Larry, thank you for the ninja guinea, man. Holy crap. You guys freaking rock. And please stick around, D-Live fam. I will be filling up the chest in a moment. And I can fill it up a lot tonight because there were a lot of donations because of Captain Roy's generosity. I can do a decent sized chest tonight. So stick around for that, please. Jordan Farrell says, pitch me Mountain Dew movie. Wouldn't that be cool? Gary Myers, thank you for subscribing to the channel over on the YouTube. So let me go ahead and pull up my list of patrons for the month of August. So tomorrow I will pull up a new Patreon list. Actually, no, 2 days. They're planning to have a Monday night stream. I know some people might be out of town or busy, but planning to still have my Monday night stream as at the normal time. And then I might do a morning stream, movie stream on the Welcome to Asgard channel. However, Rabbit is no longer. Now it's something called Cast, and I don't know how it works yet. So we might have to play around with that on Monday morning, but I'll keep y'all posted on that. But a huge shout out to all of my August patrons. So thank you so much for being a patron for August. Some of them have already left. It won't be a part of September, but seriously, thank you so much for being a part of August. So Albertus Magnus, animation commentator, Baptist 702, Be Good Men, Brian P, Dion, Edward Coleman, Elizabeth M, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, Heather Haskett, The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ, Jonathan Jerembeck, Matthew Kadish, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Peter Davison, Aussie Peter Davison, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Shenglong, Sir Lanzalato, Theodore Benden, The DJD Show, and those two ball guys, and also to my Subscribe Star peeps. Huge shout out to you guys. History Girl, Tina be my Valp, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, Laura, my Modern Major General Story, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Fan Addicts of Film, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, Filmy Professor, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Christian J. Murr, Texas Kayla, where's my mouse? There it is. Rolando Scarfullery, Nebadan G. Adams, Andreas, and ZK Man. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much for your generosity. Captain Peabody, thank you for the 2 ice cream. Biffy Tannen, thank you for the lemon. Captain K-Man, thank you for the 3 lemon. Captain Larry, thank you for the diamond. Enjoy more. Thank you so much. Thank you for that generosity, Captain Larry. Seriously, thank you. You're awesome. Jeremy Swig says, is Captain Larry really Sensei Mike at least the same job? Not exactly. Cryptocurrency and the Lino over on DLive works a little bit differently, but the generosity is still appreciated nonetheless, and they're awesome. Pitch me a Mountain Dew movie, says Jordan. I don't know if I have the creative juices at this point, man. Alex McCarthy says, do I own the movie if you have on Monday morning? You might, Alex McCarthy. I think it's going to be 80s most likely, I would imagine. Jordan Farrell says, I'm going to release a Scooby-Doo fan animation film on Vimeo this week because YouTube sucks. Would you like to review it? Sure, man. Send it my way. I'll see. Hopefully I have time, but hopefully that happens. Captain Frank just dropped 10 lemons. Spam the lemon. Thank you so much. Lemmings or lemons, says Captain Larry. I think it's lemons. Anyway, you guys freaking rock. I love my community. I love my Asgardians. DLive crew, stick around for the chest opening. Thanks again to Tina, who was here mostly by herself tonight. Thank you, Tina, for your amazing work. And again, on Monday, we have a special night to celebrate. So get your gifts ready because Steph, my Valkyrie, Tina also my Valkyrie, but Steph, my Valkyrie, is going to be celebrating a birthday. So we're going to have a good time. Good time. Tina says, we'll let you know when I can find Space Seed, sir. And Steph has been informed about, you said, regarding Gerard Butler. I tell my Valkyrie everything. I know you do. Mirrored Jeremy, love you. Love you, Mirrored Jeremy. Love every single person in this chat right now. Seriously, you guys freaking rock. Love you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. And as always, God bless.